Thank you for tuning in to another episode of InRange. I'm here with Les from Polaris Worldwide Logistics.
Yes, sir.
You are one of the kind and courteous sponsors of Desert Brutality, a division sponsor, in fact.
Yes, sir.
And so what I would like to do is give you an opportunity to talk to the audience about what Polaris does.
Polaris is an international freight forwarder. We're full service. We can import, export. We have licensed customs brokers on staff. We have our own crating shop. We can do distribution. So pretty much you name it, we can do it. And we like to support the firearms industry because it's an area that a lot of logistics providers tend to look past because they think it's too hard to deal with.
So you do firearms importation?
Yes, sir.
Essentially. How, like, the audience, we find this curious. How hard is it to do something? Like, for example, you find something in like Europe, is that an example, and you want to bring it to the States?
Well, it's a bureaucratic nightmare.
Okay.
Because anything dealing with government is.
Sure.
The advice I give to anybody, if you want to bring one firearm in, make sure it's got great provenance behind it, or a family special thing to you, or that it's just a very rare firearm, because one firearm is expensive to bring in.
Okay.
But you know, if you're going to bring some in, bring a dozen.
Make it worth your while.
Make it worth your money. Yes, absolutely.
So with that said, if you have any need for anything like that, please consider Polaris for this, because people that sponsor things like Desert Brutality and support the shooting sports are the reason that these shooting sports can exist at all. On top of that, Les and I are talking about maybe bringing out another Brutality match somewhere else in the U.S. But that's a discussion for a later video. Stay tuned. Thank you so much for your support.
Thank you, Karl.
So, as a reminder, I'm going for Borneo mid-60s.
Okay.
You are fighting in Southeast Asia?
Yes, but not your bit of Southeast Asia.
I may have a warning for you. Not a good idea.
So, yeah, when I came out, I asked Karl if I could shoot his SP1 because it's one of my Grail guns, and it was great. The hype is real.
The legend is a thing. Yeah, the original AR-15, it's an original incarnation, is so light. It's near perfection, guys. It legitimately is.
Yeah.
So anyway, stage one of the day was the reverse Trent assault.
Yep.
Yeah, so you start back there, you have to draw your pistol, engage 2 steel with 2 hits each.
Yep.
Then you have to shoot this little steel and then put your holster, your pistol away. You have to pick up this rocket launcher with your rifle and run down range to 3 trenches, turn around and engage targets that are pretty much 100, 150, and 200 yards.
Now, we had to actually make a bit of an allowance with the rules for people with silly guns with magazine safeties like Ian and myself, because normally people would drop the mag, fire the last round at the last plate, which was a sort of Virginia count plate, where they hit it or you get a penalty, and then holster and go back. But Brownings have a mag safety, and I wasn't going to sit there with my finger up in front.
You didn't want to finger your gun on the clock.
Exactly.
Okay.
You do that gently in your own time.
Yes, that's a private event.
Glass of wine, dim the lights. If you just, of course, that crappy flap holster. Getting it out's not too bad. Getting it back in needs 2 hands around these big universal pouches. Reach around and put it in, and that was going okay. And then it's got a quick release. It went diagonally and stuck. I was like, and I wasn't going to run and risk it because you're carrying that tube.
I'm on your side. Clear. Grab the tube.
Shit.
Well, if the gun falls out, you are DQ'd.
Yeah, you are DQ'd. There is
Losing control of a firearm is a DQ.
No question. So I had to fix that before I could move. And you're doing that on the clock and you're flustered. And then picked up the thing and ran back. And then, as I remember, that did everything it was supposed to.
It did.
All the way back.
If you wanted an ideal rifle for this sort of task, you would say, I would like to have one with a convenient carry handle that doesn't weigh very much.
Yes, it was very convenient because I could grab the tube by the flange in the middle and just run like that, carrying this like a shopping bag or a handbag.
But now you've done it, Ian. It's not a carry. It's not a carry handle.
It wasn't intended to be, but Mike certainly
It sure is now. For those of us that want to have that point about that's not a carry handle, well, it wasn't initially because of the charging handle. But guess what? It sure the heck is a carry handle now, and I don't care what your DI said.
Desert Brutality, it's a carry handle.
It's a carry handle. Yeah.
So running back up like that, and then thinking sort of, okay, I dropped that, rifle muzzles that way, okay, I've got to turn this way, and then recover the rifle very easily. And manipulating this, because the balance on these, it's, okay, there's no ammo in it, but the balance on these is like front part of the magwell, like that. So actually the weight of ammo doesn't really change the point of balance significantly, and you can manipulate it so easily. Just working around it.
It's almost like Stoner, Fremont, and Sullivan were brilliant. Weird.
Yeah,
Maybe.
no one's ever said that before. So yeah, that went really well.
Yeah.
I was really pleased with that station.
Awesome.
I almost ran Karl down with the camera.
It's okay. Yeah. I'm running backwards with the camera like this, so it is what it is. Yeah.
So second stage of the day was crawling under some tank traps, shooting some little tiny plates, which little tiny plates prone not to be kind of your thing.
Yeah.
You're looking at the previous guy who came through here.
Well, you guys have already stopped. We're stage 6.
Hit! 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 You're good. Hit! 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 Center. Hit! 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 Hit!
Yeah, it was. I didn't get them 5 for 5 because this it does encourage you to go a little bit fast and be a little bit sloppy because it's just so nice. The sight's so
Are you saying
nice.
it encourages you to waste ammo?
Yeah, crawling. I just put it down on its left side and just went through. I was initially thinking if I was going to do that kind of thing, but it's actually a really small space you're crawling through.
Yeah.
And I'm not used to it, and I got pouches. I'm not like some of the guys with backpacks and stuff. They were, particularly some of the bigger guys, were moving the hedgehogs as they went underneath them, which was quite something. But went through that, lay down prone, and I think I had 2 makeup hits because I got overconfident. Particularly when you start, you go ding ding, and you think this is easy. Miss. And then you've got to get yourself back in. But that crawl was much more physical than I expected.
One would say, it's interesting. It looks like not a lot, and for someone like a gazelle, it probably is not. But for the average human being,
I can't touch my toes, so anything flexibility-wise is...
that crawling stuff is worse than it looks like. Like, it really takes a lot out of you faster than what you think.
And then with the going back and forth with the cones, I like to contrast me with what you did because you with all the recoil, you took a lot more time over aiming, and I got overconfident again. It's big targets, and it's something that's normally my comfort zone, but I was a bit panty by that point and had to do some makeup shots.
Yep. That surprised me, to be honest with you. And I'm not making fun at all, because the clock does crazy stuff.
Oh, yeah.
But like, so when I was in my lever gun, with the lever gun, there's all the, I don't want to reload ever. So there's this really super diligent, is it there? Bang, right?
Yeah.
And you have a little less of that, but still the super diligent.
But I did the exact same thing because my trigger is cool.
You've got that.
Yeah.
This thing, you were willing to get a little sloppy.
Yeah, because I thought it would compensate.
But it is funny to see on the clock these things happen. Someone that is a well-accomplished precision shooter, such as yourself, dropping around at a big giant plate of 50 yards. But that's what happens, right?
Yeah.
That's real. Yeah.
Yep. And then I did my first administrative screw up. Miscounted my reload. I wanted to make I meant to make an early reload because I needed more rounds than I hoped, and then I needed more rounds than I hoped, and ran the gun dry, if I remember rightly.
Yeah, but reloading an AR is with good pouches, is a good thing. I don't know about these bags of crap.
Getting them out is fine.
Okay.
It's just, I've only been putting 1 mag per pouch, because getting it closed on the clock, just forget it. You want to be behind cover and having a brain gun going at the bad guys or something, because this isn't happening.
Excuse me, chaps, I need to fix my pouch.
You can't do it on the camera, much less on the clock.
No,
you're fighting with it right now. There's no clock.
They are horrible to redo, so I had these huge pouches with 1 20-round mag in each, and if I thought I might need more, I had one in a pocket as well, because it was, I mean, it's the fun of learning crappy gear.
Yeah. But that said, your time was still good.
That was a good time.
Yeah.
It was.
Well, you had a good score overall.
Yeah.
And then you moved on to the final stage of the day, the coronavirus party, and that presented a very difficult pistol target, which is that mini mo. Those of you who have not watched the other videos, it's a plate with a chest plate in the middle. You hit it, and then it pops up ahead, and then you have to hit the head. If you saw last year's Desert Brutality, it ate lunches, and at this Desert Brutality, it's eating lunches. It is one of those targets that's now, as you said, right up there with the spinner.
Yes.
Okay. But we started off 2 hands, then strong side, then weak side as you moved up.
Strong hand, no problem.
Yep.
Well, 2 hands and strong hand, no problem. I think I had a couple of make-up shots on strong hand. Weak hand ate my lunch.
Yeah.
A bit. Had to reload. Second administrative screw-up of the day. I had 2 mags in my pocket at the start. First one went in the initial load. I assumed, I did not check, that the other one was loaded.
Oh.
But it wasn't. It was the Barney mag from.
It was a partial.
It was an empty mag that, because we'd plugged the mag well on the crawl with an empty mag.
Yep.
Just to stop crap getting in. Obviously, I hadn't actually tried that gun with weak hand. I didn't know it was shooting. I actually had to almost deliberately put one in the sand to see where it was going.
Move. Strong hand only. Come on. Move. We can. Ah, shit. Safely in the bucket. Move. Hit! 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 Move! One, 2, 3, 4. Five, 6. Fuck.
Go ahead and rehold. Front sight was gleaming as well, which wasn't helping. And they're tiny. They're like that.
We can't only pistol as hard.
Yeah.
If you've never tried it, you'll try it once and you'll be like, wow, that sucks so much I don't ever
Yeah.
want to do it again.
What's
But
interesting about this is that after 5 stages of whatever this is, mental mistakes happen.
Oh, yeah.
Like you had a target fixation error. You loaded a mag that wasn't ready to go.
Yeah. And then on the first bit of the rifle, it was 1 for 1 down the bottom. Unload, made safe, went up.
Did you bounce your rounds off the dirt?
I didn't see any bounce.
Okay, I'm not sure you did.
But I erred on the side of going down, of being too low. But this is set for a fairly 6 o'clock hold anyway, because as both of us generally go for. So that was good. That was a this is going great move. Dropped the mag, ran up the top, grabbed a mag out of this pouch, loaded it, and I started off 1 for 1. And then suddenly something changed. Don't know what it was. They're tiny targets.
Well, it was definitely you, not the
Oh, it was
gun.
me. So one of my theories is that while I was doing it was I might have pushed down
Oh yeah.
on the gun, which would have shifted the point of impact because these have very, very skinny pencil
This was
barrels.
before the day of free float being a thing.
that will
Yeah.
make a difference quickly.
Yeah.
Way more quickly than a lot of people think.
If I remember rightly from reading a document, the difference between sling supported, which pulls the barrel down, and bipod on these is 1 meter at 300 meters. If I remember the document I read like a year ago
10 or 12
correctly, huge amount. So what I did was corrected. I made a slight move, and that kind of resets your head.
Yep.
And then it was fine again. But seeing them, I was having to actually do target focus.
Yep.
Because there's a no payment policy, which I fully agree with. But it makes those little plates at 150 odd yards kind of small.
Those were the most challenging targets of the match.
Yeah, and you had to go back and forth, so you had to shift your natural alignment.
Yep. They were far enough apart you couldn't just pivot the gun. You had to actually move your body between them.
Yeah. Next administrative error was that the mag I had in here wasn't full.
Oh, what? You did this twice?
I screwed this up massively.
Okay. Wow.
I dropped a big one on this.
All right.
User error. I think I had a short mag in there.
Oh.
I went for the other one. Reach across. As I said, getting the mags out of these is fine.
Yeah.
Because they just pop. And
It's just a big old hole of stuff.
They're there.
Yep.
The t-shirt stuffed in the bottom, so they're sitting right at the top. So that probably cost me 5 seconds, 6 seconds or something until I got back into it. But overall, one thing I've noticed is I've got this nasty welt there.
Oh yeah. So there's a gap right here that's presented between the trigger guard and the pistol grip. There's a fix for that, man. So you take an earplug. This is the old school way, and you just cram that in there, really good, and then you get it in there tight enough that you don't get blisters from your old school AR.
That is
You can jam it in a little better with time, but yeah, you get that in there and that gets rid of that gap and that solves the problem. Now there's aftermarket parts for that, but that would have prevented you from getting that.
Yeah.
Just jam it in there good.
Yeah, because you have the tendency to hang the rifle off your middle finger. Interestingly, with an SA80, I always got a welt there because of the way you've got that big wide square
Doesn't that
receiver.
legitimately feel different? Like once you guys squish it in there good. But
Oh yeah, that is completely legit.
that's the old
hack.
school. That's the old school hack fix for that.
Yeah.
So this is now your second Brutality match.
Yes.
The first Brutality match you ever shot was in Finland.
Yep.
At Finnish Brutality. This is now Desert Brutality. What are your thoughts overall? You can now analyze 2 of those matches from like kind of 2 different perspectives.
Yeah, they were very different matches.
Okay.
I think Finnish Brutality was more brutal on the physicality.
Okay.
Because almost all the stages had fairly substantial lifts
It did.
in them.
That sandbag one was brutal.
Yeah, there was the small sandbag one, which was a big sprint.
Yep.
There was carrying 2 pairs of ammo cans.
There was.
A couple of times. I pulled muscles I didn't know I had. There was the kettlebell, which was lighter than here,
Yes, it was.
but it was still pretty brutal. And then that last one with the huge sandbag. Whew, it was.
But when you compare the 2, what do you think?
I liked them both.
You liked them
they're,
both,
They're
okay.
quite different. There was much more challenging marksmanship in this one because the facilities here, which are great, they allow much longer targets. Whereas in Finland, we were simulating long targets by using half scale plates.
We were.
And it is different shooting a full-size plate at a proper range versus a half-size plate at half the range. It's not the same thing.
You're touching on one of those things that drives me insane sometimes that I see in the industry, or even in the training community. This idea that you can put a simulated size target at 50 or 100 yards, and you're now good to go to shoot to 1,000. That does not test anything than your accuracy at that distance. Wind read, dope, hold, all those things don't really apply the same way on a simulated target than they do on a real one, even if it's a big one at actual distance.
Even with a flat shooting cartridge like 55 grain M103, because you've got parallax issues, high overbore,
You do.
You've got windage, you've got all sorts of things. It is very much not the same. Otherwise, there wouldn't be any point in us doing like precision stuff at various distances. We just like simulate it with a different target, but we don't. Wind wasn't an issue here,
No.
because longest shot was about 200 yards anyway.
Good conditions.
In an enclosed bay, so that's even with the 55 grains, that's not going to make the slightest bit of difference.
But your hold at 100 yards, like let's say you're really good at holding a nice an MOA group at 100 yards. Unless you shoot at 1,000, it doesn't mean you have an MOA group at 1,000. The errors you make in your shooting is exaggerated every 100 yards, 1 yard past each distance. So you might have a great group at 100, but unless you are truly disciplined, that does not mean you have a one MOA group at 1,000. So,
and learning where to hold, and because I got to zero this beforehand, and I did need to make a couple of adjustments with respect to Karl's zero. I don't like my 6 o'clock to be quite so 6 o'clock.
Yeah. I line away on stuff.
Yeah. And 2 clicks on the windage, because we're both good shots, if
Hopefully.
I can condescend to say that. So there's not that much difference, but you do have to know how low you're going to hold at different ranges, and that's something that you need experience with, and certainly with modern red dots. You really need to know your
How many dots?
holdovers and hold unders and what have you to see where you're going, and you just don't get that with fixed distance simulating.
You always hold the dot in the
ranges.
same place. If it's a red dot.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep, that's true.
Never learn to hold up or down. The Browning, actually that was a really great Browning.
Yeah.
Because the one we had in the club back in Holland was a dog.
That was loaned to you by a well-known, famous high point collector.
Ah,
Yeah. So he also has good tasting guns too.
thank you to him.
Yeah.
Excellent Browning, ran smooth, ran flawlessly. I mean,
Excellent.
no complaints.
All right.
The only problem we had with this rifle was mag related,
And that you can't take it home.
and I can't steal it. I'll do the paperwork.
Sorry. But anyways, I'm really happy that you took the time and the effort to come all the way from Switzerland
Oh, it's a pleasure
to
be
come
here.
shoot
Thanks for
this
having
match with us. I hope that you'll do it again.
Absolutely.
And hopefully we'll see you at Finish Brutality.
Should we say one thing that we have been discussing potentially with regard to the lever action
Yes.
is me and possibly some others, if we can get everyone over,
Yes.
to run number 4s against you with the lever action.
I would love to do that. Maybe next year at Desert Brutality, if you guys can make it out here, I will do my thing with a manual gun again. I'll do the lever, you guys do your bolts, and let's really put the serious bolt versus lever thing to action.
Yeah,
I think that'd be really interesting.
that would be cool.
Yeah.
Can we do it with full round count, full semi-auto round count, rather than,
Yeah, sure.
because that would be cool.
Yep, totally. Let's do it. I'm down. I'm in. So let's make that happen
Let's
next
make
year.
it happen, yeah.
That's a deal.
Thanks
It's
so
gonna
much for
happen.
having me.
Thank you for being here.
It's a
pleasure. And thank you to the audience for a couple things. One, for watching all this Desert Brutality content. If you haven't seen Ian's runs, you should check them out. We've now seen Mike's. Also, check out Mike's channel, Bloke On The Range. If you're not familiar with it, awesome stuff, and you're going to have stuff from the match there as well.
Yep.
And we'll have runs on InRange from me as well. And even stuff from the Finns and Varstaleka. It's going to be all over the place. And don't forget that InRange is viewer supported only by people like you via Patreon. There's no funding from anyone else besides you. So thanks for watching.